Hi guys, and we are back. This is Paul from Retro169 and I am Richie from Fret Junkies. This is going to be episode 2 of the guitar build project that we've been doing. If you haven't seen episode 1, I'm going to drop the link in below. In episode 1 we talk all about the tone woods and why we selected these pieces and the components, etc. And in this video we're just basically going to be doing the assembly. Paul took away the parts, he's aged the parts, and we're now in a position to assemble it. So yeah, I'm gonna let Paul take over, and we're gonna put together this guitar.
Yeah, great.
Over to you, Paul.
Right, yeah, everything's all been aged. The only thing we've got the ferrules already fitted, and yeah, body's all aged. That's looking nice. I like that as well. See the screw holes poking through on
Perfect.
The back side,
Yep.
which is vintage correct.
Right, yeah, excellent.
How they were. Yeah, and we'll start putting it together.
We get a close up of this body perhaps so you can see the paintwork a bit more. Went for this colour, didn't we, to show the grain?
Yeah.
Just to get the grain to pop
blend,
out.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'll get a close up in this and you can actually see how the grain's coming through the paintwork. So it looks amazing. The wear here was all what we kind of thought we'd go for to make it look vintage without relicking it too much.
Yeah.
So it just looks played and loved, right?
Yeah. Looks all good. Yeah, and obviously we're not going to do a full tutorial on how to build a guitar because they would be here for hours, things like nut making and all that sort of stuff. But maybe in the future we could do a video on the nut making and the string spacing, and like it's a massive subject on its own. So we're literally just going to screw this together. Yeah, one of the other important things is screwdrivers. Yeah, that I will say is having the right screwdriver to fit your screws is really important, because a lot of these screws do get chewed up, and loads of people have that problem. The screwdriver's not fitting properly, round the head's off. So,
I think I'm fairly guilty.
yeah, it's happened to everybody, but so I always have a selection of screwdrivers to make sure it's fitting properly before I drive the screws in.
Sure.
So yeah, we'll crack on.
So we've got the body, we've got the neck. This is the pick guard from Mark Foley Guitar Products, the pick guard, right? We've got our 50s pre-CBS set there. We're going to put in. We thought that set would be better because the guitar is going to be naturally quite bright. Yeah. Considering the tone woods. So I went for the 50 set because the way these 50 sets are wound, vintage accurate, they're kind of a softer, woodier tone. So we thought they would really complement the body. So yeah, they're going to be going in. Got the pots offline.
Yeah.
The bridge come from you, Paul, right?
Yeah.
And we bought the tuners online. So all very accessible stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, so start with, I mean these have all been pre-drilled obviously. So tuners first.
And we had to go for left-handed tuners.
Yeah, left-handed tuners, yeah, reverse headstock.
Which could have been a big mistake if...
and this is, again, one of the beauties of the guitar build stuff is everything. I mean, you know, the way everything's set out, everything fits perfectly. No gaps anywhere, no dodgy fitting.
No. So the ferrules have already been put in, like you said, on there before, and they were such a good fit. It'd be almost a shame to take them out, right?
Yeah. They did push straight in.
Yeah.
The vintage spec stuff.
Or the tuning pegs are in anyway, right?
Yeah. And again, anybody who wants to build one of these guitars with vintage tuners, and you buy a guitar build net, the tuners will drop straight in. They give you all the necessary positions for you to mark your holes and pre-drill. You have to pre-drill on maple, otherwise you'll never get your screws in. Okay, that's it, tuners in. So that's neck to one side. We'll concentrate on the body next. I think we'll go for trem claw. again, that's been aged.
Paul was kind enough to put a decal on here of my choice, just what I wanted to call the guitar, which I think is a really nice touch. I really like that because it's made it even more personal to me, you know?
Yeah, it looks good as well, that.
Yeah, it's come out nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right, that's somewhere in the ballpark, I should say, for...
So when you're screwing that in, is it just from doing it so many times you know kind of where it should be?
I've got a rough idea, yeah.
Right.
I mean, obviously your gauge of strings is going to make a bit of difference. We're putting 4 springs on the trem,
sure.
Whereas most people, you know, who are playing with 10s will only have 3 springs on the trem.
Right, okay.
But that should be somewhere close.
Right.
Right, trem. Oh.
Right there.
People have lots of different ideas on how to set up these trems, but I always like just to screw these in, the 2 outside ones in, just so it hits the trem, then back it off a touch, so it's just hit there, and I'll back it off a turn. Same with that one, just hit, back it off a turn. Should be somewhere there. And again, these guitar build bodies do come pre-marked, and they will do, I think they do narrower spacing as well. So as long as you drill your holes smack on their marks, you'll be perfect. Somewhere in a springs. Yeah, we've got one odd spring.
So far, everything that's kind of happening is kind of like a bog standard process, right?
Yeah, screw it together really, and there's like I said, there's lots of different people have lots of different ideas on setting up these trems. Right, pick guard. This has all been pre-wired. We wired this, so we're just going to drop the pickups in.
So with this guitar, the whole idea of this guitar was so I could put my pre-CBS guitar straight back to factory spec and kind of leave that one as is, because over the years I've put a lot in and out, and those are original parts, and I've kind of been risking it a little bit, haven't I? given
overdo it a bit,
yeah, overdoing it. So the idea of this guitar was to have something that I could really kind of experiment with and not be so precious about in terms of, you know, trying different pickups in to get different tones, and yeah, that's what this is going to be about, just kind of made to a spec that I like.
That's got it. Right.
So where these wires now, Paul, they're coming off the guard.
Yeah, got an earth wire to the trem.
Yep.
So I'll go to the trem claw. These two hot on the ground for the jack socket.
Okay.
fly through the back.
Couldn't have gone any better, mate. And again, all these holes obviously pre-drilled in the body.
Yeah, they're all there, yeah. There's plenty of room to get your wires through.
Well, that went in a damn sight easier than my old one just went in, didn't it?
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool.
It's looking lovely, mate.
So I think what I'll do now is I'll just drop the neck in, because sometimes these do require a little bit of fitting. This one feels pretty good.
Right.
Just to make sure the guard's in the right position first.
That's something we talked about in the previous video, wasn't it? The way the neck fits into the body with these builds.
Yeah. There we go, that's a nice fit. Just check that this doesn't need. Oh, that's pretty good. So it's all clear around the, not interfering with the trim at all. Yeah, that all looks good. Right, so I'll mark that and get that screwed down.
This tool was something we were talking about off camera as well, wasn't it, Paul?
Oh, we like vintage tools. Right, that's it. Yeah, we've got an aged jack cup as well. So that's that was nicely aged, that.
Yeah. Again, is this little area kind of something like a home budding guitarist could do? Is nothing?
Yeah, there's nothing technical about this at all.
Just screwing in some components.
I mean, you know, there's a couple of little things, little tweaks. Sometimes the tab that hits the, if that's in the wrong position, it'll bottom out on the side of the pocket. So you just want to make sure, try and keep.
And what tab is that? So the viewer can see.
Yeah, the for the tip of your jack socket.
So you want that at the bottom of the actual...
Really, yeah. Because if sometimes you end up on the side and you get your guitar all together and you come to plug it in, you can't get your plug in.
Right.
There's no. So yeah, we'll tighten that up. They're pre-tinned. I tinned those earlier, so should be able to solder straight onto that.
Let's get closer to this, mate. Paul, when you're doing that, mate.
Happy with that? So we'll come to screw the neck on. And this is another little thing that some people overlook, is when you're screwing your neck on, your neck screws want to clear these holes. So you should be able to slide them through, because obviously that's what's pulling your neck into the pocket. A lot of these screws that you buy online are too tight in the holes and people will screw them in anyway. It doesn't pull the neck into the pocket. So you've got to have that bit of clearance.
So you want to fly through the actual guitar body but screw into the neck.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Got ya.
So
and then it pulls them together.
You want that clearance there.
Right, I didn't know that. I just presumed it would just...
Because if you don't have that clearance, it will actually push the neck out of the pocket.
Ah, okay.
Which is what you don't want.
And were these in, Paul, or were these holes?
Yeah, these are all pre-drilled.
Yeah.
Guitar Build standard STRAT holes.
Sure.
But again, you know, with the amount of screws that you find on the internet,
yeah,
you know, they'll all work, but sometimes you have to open these holes out just to make sure you've got that clearance to let your screw actually pull the neck into the pocket.
Got ya.
So that does look good actually, that neck plate.
Yeah, it makes complete sense when you say it. I've always kind of imagined they would screw in through there, but like you say, if it passes through, it's going to pull them together, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Got
Yeah,
ya.
and you want it to pull it tight into the pocket. And again, this is another thing. You know, I've got no shims in this. This is just wood to wood.
So when we put this together and had to play acoustically last week, the one thing I did notice, I mean, a lot of the stuff that, you know, people talk about in tone and talk about, you know, taking the paint off a bridge, for example, was the other one, wasn't it, Paul? There's so many different, you know, variables that will kind of add up and, you know, give you different tones. May not give you different tones. It might be placebos, whatever. But one thing I really think I noticed with this was the extended E, the thicker E. Kind of felt different to play, and it kind of, I don't know how or why, but it definitely felt like it had a kind of different tone. I mean, if I put some slack strings on there, some light strings like Hendrix, you'd probably get that Hendrix thing a bit more, wouldn't you? In terms of the reverse headstock, the longer E. I mean, there's so many things, there's so many rabbits holes you can dive down. But obviously with that as well, you've got to be careful, because if you dive down those rabbit holes, you spend so much time looking for tone and no time playing. And I think we're all guilty of that at some point, you know, maybe trying to chase a player, or, you know, buying a pedal because it's going to make you sound like, I don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan or whatever, or, you know. But some things actually I think do make a difference, and I really did notice a difference with the longer, thicker E string, and that was before we plugged it in. So when it's plugged in, it's probably going to be a bit different too. The work on this with the relic in it is just beautiful. You can see the grain, you've got the crackle perfectly running through there. The aging was something that, the colours was something that we kind of went through on it, and it was was what I kind of wanted, was like a bit of yellowing.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll link all Paul's description below, and then if you guys have any, you know, needs, paintwork, hardware, whatever, just reach out to Paul, and he'll get back to you, I'm sure.
That's it, everything's in. Nice and in tune.
Perfect. So these STRAT buttons, Paul, is this again or something from Retro169?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make sure that, you know, what I'm really trying to do with this video is obviously walking through, showing you the actual construction itself, but making sure that you can see where the parts are coming from as well. And, you know, these little things, like I overlooked so much on this that Paul kind of really helped me with, well, all of it, you know. But these little bits, it's nice to know where you can get them from, and they're right. I mean, this guitar is looking absolutely magic.
Okay, so that's the guitar all together. And what I generally like to do is, when it's been strung up to pitch on a new build, I'll always leave it. It's basically, we've set it up to a ballpark setup, and then we'll leave it for a few days, let everything settle in, and then we maybe tweak the truss rod a bit, and we can fine tune the setup after it's settled. So especially with these, you're quite, I think, what size are these? They're quite heavy strings, quite heavy, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that's going to put a lot of tension on things. So I should say we probably will have to do a bit of truss rod tweaking and various other tweaking. So we'll do all the intonation when it comes to that in a few days' time.
Sure, yeah. So just basically, it's just going to now just start working together, and it's going to settle in. Basically,
that's it. Yeah, just let the neck settle, and yeah.
And that's kind of the guitar assembled, right?
Yeah, and we've just done a ballpark setup on the bridge, you know, using a radius gauge. I mean, these are widely available on the internet.
Yeah.
7.25 your radius. So, you know, we've set the bridge roughly to that. So we're roughly in the right area. We'll just fine tune it in a few days' time.
Perfect. So the guitar is assembled. Really excited to get into this. Like Paul said, it's going to have to settle in, and we're going to want to show this off at its best. So I'm going to play the hell out of it for a couple of days, let it settle in. Then Paul's going to come over. I'll probably pop the pause one or the other, and we'll tweak it and get it to a point where, you know, it feels like home. And then the next video, we're going to show how it sounds. And yeah, I'm really excited to bring that to you guys. It's been really an eye-opener for me, seeing this bit together. I'm thankful for Paul, you know, walking us through the bits you've done, Paul, and excited for future stuff that we're going to do together, mate. Yeah, so, you know, if you've liked this video and you've kind of seen this together, Make sure to hit the subscribe, like and share where you can. And you're going to want to come back for the last piece where we're going to show you how the guitar sounds, because at the end of the day, that's probably the most important part, you know. We've got it looking right, but we want to make sure it sounds right, which I have all the confidence that it's going to, okay. This is Paul from Retro169. I'm Richie from Fret Junkies. Thank you so much for being here. Peace.